Hello guys, welcome back to Comic Book Cafe. This time around we're reviewing Deadpool and the Mercs for Money issue number 2. Now one thing you gotta say about this comic first at the bat is obviously the comedy and the silliness of Deadpool comics are in this straight off the bat. So it's funny to see this book because one thing I love about comic books is when they take, you consider minor characters of the Marvel Universe and you see them in a comic book, which you haven't seen for a while. This comic book has a lot of those characters in it. So to start off, we start off with not so minor characters. We start off with somebody approaching Crossfire to obviously go and hunt down Deadpool. And then the next thing we're introduced in the book is somebody coming and hiring Taskmaster to take down Deadpool, and he's willing to do it because he doesn't like Deadpool. Obviously, they have a little bit of history. And that's what we see at the beginning. Okay, people are hiring people to go after Deadpool and the Mercs because of what they have. So they had this mission to get this cargo out for this client. Anyway, things go south and they ultimately just open it up and they find out there's a robot inside. So that leads us to, and again, this beginning part goes really quickly. It's just introductions to characters being hired to hunt them down. And then and every character, by the way, almost introduced that's a bad guy, Deadpool calls a jerk when they do the listing of the characters. So next we see Stingray trying to figure out what this robot is, and then he comes to the realization this robot, the reason why this robot is kept and wanted so badly is it predicts the future. It's spawning out things like the Shire Empire returns, from the Galactus Armada attacks Earth. It's spitting off things. You don't see any dates, but I guess Stingray sees all these dates and predictions. Again, let's see if the Galactus Armada ever attacks Earth in the future. But realize this thing can predict the future. So he calls Deadpool to tell him this, and Deadpool's busy dealing with Crime Master. Was it Slap? Then was it Slap or something? Was one of their names, silly names. And then Blood Spider, which is kind of like a rip-off Spider-Man, but not as good as Spider-Man. A bunch of, funny minor characters, right? That's what they are. They're cool to see them, by the way, because, again, when I read 90s, I read a lot. From the 80s to 90s to early 2000s, I read every single Marvel book that came out every week. And I like to dig into every part of the universe, including the little characters. And to see them pop every once in a while was really cool. So he's being attacked by, Crime Master's guys and this stuff while talking on the phone. And then we kind of go to the next one of Solo and another guy. Again, I remember Solo when he appeared in Spider-Man many years ago, kind of, again, part of Deadpool's team, going to Caroline LeFay, obviously very evil, powerful woman, to see if she, of course, willing to bargain for this. And then they find out later the tease she gave him was actually truth serum, so she's not lying to them, they're not lying to her. She makes it clear she's evil and all this other stuff. So Deadpool gets a call again, and at this point he's taking care of Crime Master and his goons. And, talking about a deal, and he's like, while this is going on, was it Mephos? Mephisto. Again, the demon, the deceiver, the devil, demon guy in the Marvel Universe who's kind of in hell. Was it Mascara? I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Another guy go down there to try to bargain with him for this. And obviously he says, normally I don't care about money. I don't care about, robot. But this thing seems to have some kind of magic and stuff to predict the future. So he's interested, but he's not the kind of guy, who's going to sit around like he really is interested. He's going to do something bad. They call Deadpool, and Deadpool's like, no, hold on. To all these guys, he's like, hold on. Wait. And they're like, you don't understand. He wants it now. It could be bad for them. And then he gets this brilliant idea. You know what I should do? I should have an auction and have them bid against each other for the highest price. And slap sticks there with him going, do you think it's a good idea getting these people together with the big egos and really wanting it? Do you think this is a good idea? And of course Deadpool doesn't think it through. He said, yeah, they'll bid for the highest bidder. So that's how it ends. There's a lot of characters in this book. If you like a lot of minor characters you haven't seen for a while and stuff, this book has it. It has comedy. it has a bunch of different characters in it doing a bunch of things, leading obviously to going to be this big race for this robot that they have. And of course, going forward, the question you have is, what are these guys going to do to try to take Deadpool and his people out to take this robot from them, or how are they going to try to take this robot for him, and how this is going to turn out. Now, let's get to the very end, so they got all that out of the way. The very end of the book, we see Taskmaster looking over, and all of a sudden the guy in the shadows, interrupts him saying, we're both contacted saying, we should work together, but now that's not either of our style. And you see evil Deadpool. And for those who don't know, evil Deadpool is basically just the leftover parts of Deadpool that we caught off otherwise that have come together to make evil Deadpool. So there you go. A lot of different characters in this book. If you like just a fun, silly book, then this is your book. But also has a bunch of Marvel characters, minor and major, in it, going after something kind of important, a robot who can tell the future. And we'll see what happens, how this all plays out. But again, it was a lot of silliness involved in this, and obviously the auction is going to be hilarious. Obviously, maybe it's in the next issue after, whenever that happens. And obviously a lot of people are going to be coming after him for this. So what do you think about Deadpool and the Mercs for Money issue 2? Again, love the book. I did not read the first book, and quite frankly and honestly, you don't have to read the first issue to read this. I didn't read the first issue. You can pretty much get everyone up to speed really quick, because all it starts is two guys getting hired and you see the robot and they kind of explain it can tell the future, so you really don't need to know anything else. I mean, obviously, as the books go along, because I don't know the whole team, I'll obviously get to know the whole team and the characters. And it'd be kind of cool if they do flesh out Solo and these other characters that kind of really haven't been fleshed out a lot, right? And maybe take some of these characters that really haven't really got a chance, and maybe flesh them out as enemies, or guys to Blood Spider or otherwise. Maybe those guys could be fleshed out some way. But again, yeah, I liked the book. It was a lot of fun. Again, this won't be as your greatest or best read of the week. It won't be like the worst. It'll just be a very entertaining book to read that kind of has that comic book silliness that you can only get in the comic book. Anyway, guys, love to hear your comments and opinions on the book. Thanks for watching, like always, and I'll do another review soon. Later, guys.